I was in first grade, and I just remember, like, my family's all from New York, actually, so I do know some people that died that day, but I just remember going home, and, like, my dad was born and raised there, so we were just kind of glued to the TV.
I was in kindergarten. I was just remember us, like, we weren't allowed to finish our lesson or something like that, and we all sat down and watched the TV, and it was like an old school TV, but we sat down and watched our TV, and it obviously didn't hit as a 4-year-old in kindergarten what was going on, but I could tell it wasn't the same. Like, my mom picked me up from school at the end of the day, it wasn't the same.
No.
She wasn't the same. She knew what was going on, obviously, but as the days go on, we learn more and more.
The morning of September 11th, I was in the Pentagon. I had a meeting with the Secretary of Defense. I was chairman of the Aviation Subcommittee in Congress. I learned shortly after 9:46 that the first plane had hit shortly after 9, about the second. I left the Pentagon minutes before the plane hit. I wasn't sure exactly what happened. I remembered in my mind reading about how we started the air traffic control system. You never forget this. When I fly out over the Pentagon like I did this morning, I remembered them again today. When I see the pictures on television of the World Trade Center or have visited there, it does affect you. When you lose friends in a tragedy of that nature, you'll always remember.
If we forget it, and then it's just, you know, not really honoring those who lost their lives on that terrible day. So remembering it is a good way to say we honor the victims.
Okay.
I don't remember where I was on 9/11, and that's kind of why this event is worth value for me. I think me, and along with a lot of new students, and I'm not that new, I was born in '96, have no memory of it. And that's fine, as long as we could work together to preserve the memory and educate people on this terrible event to make sure that something like this doesn't happen again.
I think it's just today is one of those days where you need to step aside from the politics and remember that November 8th is a big day for both of our parties, but November 9th, at the end of the day, we're all Americans and we have to come together. And this day was a tragic day in our history 15 years ago, and we have to remember that and honor those who lost their lives and protected those who were starting to lose their lives that day.
You know the first building I saw in New York City? The World Trade Center. It was the first building I saw.
I feel like every year it gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
I mean, I've only been in the organization this is my 3rd year, but
I've been in the past, like, 4 years since I was a freshman, and I think this is definitely the biggest showing that I've seen.
Which is
I
great.
mean, yeah.
I think that coming together is an intrinsic value to show that we could still, in this heated election season, come together to remember the lives lost in this terrible event. So I think it's especially good.
Today we remember them and all those others who were lost.